Hey YouTube, I've been working on the game some more. I'm a little bit stuck right now on the hardest part for me, which is the story. Now, programming can be hard too, it can be challenging, but it's sort of like a puzzle to solve, whereas story writing is sort of like hitting your head against the wall repeatedly, at least for me, because I'm not good at it. So last night I ended up writing a wrapper for the output, because I was thinking that I might want to have the game output both to the console, but also to save it to a game file, so you have kind of a log of your game. Probably nice. I cleaned up the output. It's prettier now. It looks nicer. I want to make sure that it's a fun ASCII game to play. A text adventure that kind of has nice controls and good streamlining of user experience and random keywords like that. I moved the mission wrapper around, which I guess you don't really know where the mission wrapper was to begin with unless you're reading the code, but I moved that because both the menu state and the game state are going to be using it, so right now it's sitting in the state manager. And then the menu and game state just have pointers to it, and then after I kind of spent like 2 or 3 hours just kind of refactoring everything, I ended up starting to write the entire mission on paper or in Google Docs, but it's been going slow. So I'm trying to think of stereotypical Kansas City themes in the missions. So the first one is about barbecue. I'm also trying to use people that I know from Kansas City, and I'm just using their last names in this case. So I thought they would be kind of... So another negative thing about writing stories is that I don't get out much. I don't know anything about the Power of the Night District around here. I don't care about sports. I haven't been to any of the First Fridays, so it doesn't feel like there's a ton I can write about locations-wise. I also hate barbecue, and I don't know anything about cooking barbecue, so yay. So I'm just trying to make missions vaguely around what I know. So I think it's the 26th. I'm not totally sure. For some reason it's hard to keep track of days ever since I've been out of school. But it seems like within the past few days I've been getting a lot of IMs and just messages in general saying that people are dropping out of the competition, which is to be expected. I mean, there's about 25 people entering. Not everyone's gonna finish, but it just kind of seems like all at once a bunch of people are dropping out, which kind of makes me be like, oh, I want to finish my game even more because I need to make sure there's a game. Even though there'll probably be plenty of games, but I'm thinking that I might end up staying up maybe an hour later at night just to work on the game rather than going to bed earlier. So I'm going to try to do that and get stuff done. I have part of a script written. I was like, oh, I should do the first area, and well, I've only done one thing of dialogue with one person, and it ended up being kind of huge compared to what I'm used to writing. So there's gonna probably be a lot of dialogue in this game, and I'm gonna have to do a lot of planning ahead of time. So first I'm gonna try to get the first area done with some items, one person to talk to, and really just one area to look at. And then after that, I'll show off a demo, and then I'll continue working on the game to try to get the mission done. So it's now March 31st. We have this weekend and next weekend to work on the game before it's due on Monday. So I'm going to be working on that tonight. Boyfriend already went to bed, brought me some Mountain Dew. So it's time to get to work and figure out how to exactly script this dialogue stuff, which I wrote something on Thursday. I spent a few hours on it, but I think I might scrap it. It's hard to kind of design for something when you've never done it before, so it's a bunch of, this sounds like a good idea, gonna try it out, that didn't really end up the way I wanted it, so blah blah blah. So that's what I'm gonna be working on tonight. I bought this tablet. Pause. Okay. I bought this tablet so I could hopefully replace paper, but you know, it's not as nice as paper. Oh, and look, I'm drawing. I didn't mean to do that. basically I was thinking of maybe implementing some sort of dialogue state system, since really the game's dialogue is going to be in exactly this sort of way. You start with the talking, and you can ask about different items. Start with talking, it's like the introduction message. Then you can ask questions. If it leads nowhere, it's just you're going to keep asking questions to you in the conversation. If you get a specific item that is sort of interest, then you go to the interrogate stage. And if you say that you believe them or just doubt them, it's going to go back to ask. It's going to give you some more dialogue and go back to ask. But if you say lie, then it's going to say, okay, now you need evidence. If you choose bad evidence or good evidence, it's going to go back to ask, but it might add something to your notebook or flip a switch or something like that. So this is the basic state diagram of it. So right now I'm modeling the dialogue as actual sort of trees. There's going to be 4 states. There's talk, ask, interrogation, and evidence. So they each get stored separately. I have a dialogue table up here, which, okay, there we go. Well, there's a dialogue table, and then we have dialogue dot, this is the person's name, Boney, and then the talk. So this is really just going to be very simple, like 2 lines. After you talk, then it goes into the ask state, and you can ask about items. So here's crumpled paper, and here's the smoker, like barbecuing thing smoker. Then I have a flag for set interrogation to true or false, and then the response is just another array of strings. So C++ will go through this array and then output the stuff so it looks pretty. Then you have interrogation. Right now I only have interrogation for 1 item, and then each item part of the table is going to have response for truth, doubt, and lie. If you say lie, it's going to go to evidence, and you have to use some item as evidence. And right now none of them have flags, but then say if you figure it out, then something in the notebook will get added or whatever else. But right now I just have some placeholder dialogue. It doesn't really make any sense, so it's mainly not to give the story away.